So today's Science Book Club is going to review the book Eureka, The Birth of Science by Andrew Gregory. Andrew is a historian of science in London, and he has authored this book, and it's all about the birth of science in Greece and features all the major Greek stars. It's the sort of thing that I would love to see on a science syllabus. It's really important that we understand our journey that got us here with science, because those great thinkers, they were just using their brains in an extraordinary way. They didn't have hardly much equipment or technology like we do today. Anyway, so I'm going to read you a few excerpts out of the book. The book also features a couple of things in it that I think are kind of useful to know. They have, for example, some appendices at the rear where they have maps of ancient Greece, a glossary as well, which is kind of a bit unique, of all ancient scientific terminology and things that are connected to the Greeks as well, and how they analyze things, etc. And also a timeline of the ancient Greek philosopher scientists. And they say, they refer to these scientists as philosophers because most of the time they were just thinking and making observations and calculations as well. And some of that, actually features in modern GCSE math syllabi these days, like Pythagorus' theorem. So I think it's a really interesting book and read. Now, this book as well is also part of a series, and at the back of the book, they actually show you all the series of books that are related, all connected to science. So, for example, the atom and science and Islam, the comet sweeper, etc. And they were published in 2017 as part of a 25th anniversary series of books and groundbreaking moments in science history. So, really good collection to have a look at there. Let me read you a little excerpt. So, just going to the front of it. The birth of science is largely unchanged in its overall content. My view remains the same. The ancient Greeks made a fundamental and critical contribution to the development of science. That they did so was no miracle. It did not come about out of nothing, but built on important work by both the Babylonians and the Egyptians. It was not inexplicable, as many important social changes can be seen to contribute to a society and culture conducive to radical intellectual change. The introduction of democracy, a relative religious freedom, and important technological innovations can all be seen as important factors in a new social soil that allowed the rapid production, discussion, and adoption of new ideas. Indeed, the growth of science is perhaps best seen as like that of a tree. It has many roots and requires certain conditions to flourish. The growth may at times be a little tangled, but ultimately the branches reach up towards the light. The ancient Greeks were a key root for science and were fundamental in fostering its early growth as the roots came together to form the trunk. And Andrew goes on to talk about the creation of science. I'm not going to read all of that out because I think that's kind of part of the fun of starting a book. But just to finish by saying that the project begun by the ancient Greeks is one that has deeply affected every aspect of thinking in the modern world and every aspect of our lives. Our conception of the natural world traces its ancestry to the ancient Greeks, and our science has its roots there. This book is the story of the origins of a great quest to understand the world we live in, a quest that continues today and that still owes a great deal to its originators. I encourage you to go and get the book, and I will post the ISBN number for you to have a look at it. In terms of the language content for this book, there are some minor references to terminologies that might make it unsuitable for our younger readers. I would say, having read the book, you would probably be looking at her age range, which was suitable for 12 to 15-year-olds. Okay, see you soon.